So we are basically just going to be looking into BTC, just like as I told us in the group, BTC USD, gold, GBP USD, and some of these other JPY pairs. So this was actually just the last trade I took. I think this was this trade I dropped I posted its outcome in the group yesterday. You can see this was basically just the narrative behind the trade, just this breakout from this very trend line, and that was it. So let's go to BTC monthly time frame. Let's just start from there. So if you take a good look at this very chart, we take a good look at this very BTC. You ask yourself, what exactly has been preparing price? Each of these times that we had a bullish run, what exactly has been preparing price? The exact thing that has been preparing price, which I am still gonna be working with next, is fair value gap. So if you come down to this very level, ask yourself, what prepared price, what gave this bullish momentum here? Price was rejecting of this fair value gap. The same thing as here, price was rejecting of this fair value gap. The same thing as here, price was rejecting of this fair value gap. The same thing here. So do you understand that BTC actually respects fair value gap in its higher time frame a lot? Now, where else is the next fair value gap that I feel like price is reaching out to? Here. Because long-term basis, I am still very much bullish on BTC USD. I'm very much bullish. But being bullish doesn't stop the fact that certainly there are going to be bearish retracements in a bullish market. So it makes more sense to expect the market to sell to some level of balance, let's put it that way, before it continues to move towards its intended direction. So I'm having my eyes on this very fair value gap, this monthly fair value gap on BTCUSD, and I expect price to just find its way to drop all the way to this level and continue its long-term bullish move. Although we can still have price coming down all the way to, because this very here is another block. This is a valid other block here. This bearish candle here is a valid other block. So we can as well have price coming all the way down to maybe somewhere here. I think my previous analysis, that was something I saw down there that could as well attract price down to that level. But for the meantime, my drawn liquidity is just expecting price to trade to this fair value gap. Do you understand? Then my engagement from this fair value gap, my buy long term from this fair value gap is going to be dependent on the reaction I see here. So for now, it is a lot of mates selling from this very place the prices at the moment down to here. But obviously, you're not just going to sell bluntly without a narrative. Okay, that's 600 plus pips, but you're not going to sell just that way. You're certainly going to have a narrative and a logic behind your engagement. So let's go down to daily time frame and see.
Boss,
Who is there?
it's me. I talked to you one time,
Can
on
you?
the
I'm
Telegram.
teaching. Can you? You're distracting me. Just send me a message on Telegram, please. Gosh. So, as I was saying, okay, you're not just going to sell blindly. just from the very level prices at the moment. So expect it to trade all the way to this fair value gap. We have to look for a narrative. So over here, if you take a good look at what price is doing, I can see a pattern being formed. Can see a pattern being formed here. Can you see this pattern? This is I think this is falling wedge. Yeah, this is falling wedge. This is called falling wedge in the world of chart patterns. So what am I expecting price to do here? I'm expecting price to just do something like this. Since it's already selling, maybe a little bit of retracement and boom, down to, don't forget, this very level is that fair value gap, that monthly fair value gap that I talked about earlier. So I'm expecting price to come down to this fair value gap and, tap into this very pattern, validate the pattern by tapping it. And then I think we can have a breakout from the pattern and continuation of higher prices. Do you understand? So this is one of the frameworks I will be working with in BTC USD. But if I don't see a reasonable pattern, if I don't see a reasonable, what is it called? If I don't see a good confirmation entry or like a good structure here to give me solid backup that okay, price is probably gonna be moving up from here, then this level as well doesn't look bad. So this is the level I talked about. I said I've looked into in the previous time when I was analyzing. So this is a valid level in price as well. BTC can as well decide to come down to this level. This is a valid order block. You can see this liquidity that got swept here. And see this liquidity that got stopped here. So this is still a valid trade that can still happen. So this same pattern that I just marked out here was still the same thing that prepared price from this level, I think. Yeah, okay. If you guys can remember, I actually called this level. If you guys can remember, months ago, I called this level in the group. I marked out this very framework and I expected price to react up from somewhere here, and it did exactly that. Cleared out all the liquidity that was lying on this very trend line here. All the people that were selling, it swept them all out with this impulsive move here. So that's exactly the thing I'll be expecting for BTC to do here again. Trade down, fill the FVG, mitigate whatever it wants to mitigate here, and sweep out all the sellers that have been selling. So down to the lower time frame, you ask yourself, where then should you be engaging off from? Where should you buy yourself from? Where, okay, I've told you it is going to this level, it's going to, where exactly are you going to buy yourself from? Well, let's look at something. I'm looking for the opening price for the month, the new month's opening price for the month of November. Okay, so basically, it doesn't make sense for price to go back all the way to this very opening price again. So certainly, price is just going to maybe sweep out this liquidity here. Price will probably just move up, sweep out this liquidity. I don't think it will be practical for price to go back to this very level, this monthly opening price. There has already been a mitigation here. So price could probably just sweep out this liquidity and continue its lower movements. But then this is not a clear signal. There is obviously no stop loss price here or TPS. So if you are engaging, if you know what you are doing, you can go ahead and look for an entry opportunity to engage. But if you don't know how to do that, please stay off. BTC is very, very volatile. Now let's move into the next trade. The next trade we'll be looking into is gold, XAUUSD. the chairman of them all. So gold is actually giving me lots of mixed feelings. I'm having lots of mixed. There is a mitigation that took place here on the higher time frame. Let's go to daily time frame. There's a mitigation that took place. You can see this daily order block. The price got mitigated, and since then we started seeing bullish move. But the bullish move is looking like it was just a short-term stuff, because this FVG here, since price traded into it, has been repairing price to the downside. So the question now is, which of these institutional reference points is going to propel price to either of the direction? Is it going to be this daily order block or this daily FVG? At the end of the day, it is all a game of probability. But for me, let me walk you through. If I was going to choose a direction, let me walk you through what I'm going to work with. So again, this is our daily FVG. And you can see price tapped into it several times, and each of the times it tapped into it, we had a displacement from the fair value gap. Do you understand? Now, the last level that tapped into it that swept liquidity was this very one here. You can see. So this swept liquidity to some extent, but then I've not seen a valid structural shift to the downside, a solid structural shift to the downside. I've not seen it yet. So regardless of that, this is liquidity. These are liquidities here. You can see this low, is low, is low. All these are all liquidity to me. That is if we'll be selling off from this very daily fair value gap. So this was a trade I took yesterday. Although I did not post it, I just took it on myself because I wasn't really convinced a lot about the setup, but it actually panned out well. So basically, the next thing I'm going to look into here is, where is the opening? I work a lot with opening price. That shit works like magic. That shit works like magic. Lots of my students use it perfectly, and it's actually a game changer for a good number of them. And since I figured that shit out, trust me, a lot has really changed in my trading game. And lots of traders, I am very, very shocked and surprised that a lot of traders in the internet don't even talk a lot about this very stuff, probably because they don't know how to use it properly. Now, let's go down to looking for where price will probably find resistance to start shooting down. You can see this first liquidity that got swept here. Where is the next liquidity? Okay, this is the next liquidity that got swept. The next one is this very one here. So let's mark that. That's our protected high. This is our protected high. So let's work with that. So what is the opening price? Okay, I think I marked it out already. The opening price for, okay, this is not actually the opening price for the week. The opening price for the week is this very bearish candle here. I think price is even reaching out to it, but I'm paying deaf ear to it, and I want to work with the opening price of Monday, which is this very bullish candle here. This is the opening price of Monday. You can see. They check the time here. Check the time. It's 00 o'clock. That's what you use to identify opening price. The 00 o'clock of that certain day. I don't know how to explain it for you to understand. I'm not teaching that here. So as you can see, I marked it already, and you can see there is a beautiful order block that was situated just right between the opening price. So I'm just going to expect something like this. Price reaching out to this level and boom. And I'm just going to target somewhere. I'm not going to be greedy. I'll probably just target somewhere like here. And that's going to be, that's crazy. Total of 480 pips, 185 or thereabouts. That's a lot. So I'm not giving entry level or exit level here. Oh, I've already given it. Like at the end of this video, I'll mark this all out and drop it in my VIP signal channel. Those are the ones I'm indebted to. So this is it for BTC. This is it for gold. As you can see, I've given you a narrative. You can just look for a way to just sell all the way to just this very level I just told you here. Mind you, apply proper risk management. There is no such thing. There is no such thing like 100% guarantee setup. Everything I'm showing you here is just under probability. It can happen. It might not happen. In fact, there is lower probability that it will happen. So you don't go out there to hurt yourself. Most of you, when I drop trades, the way you over leverage on them, somehow you think that, okay, I can't be wrong. No, brother. No, no, no. Even the best of us will get it wrong every day. So that is it. Let's move into the next pair. The next one we're going to be looking into is, okay, let's look at GBPUSD. Okay. Oh, shit. I've marked this already. I have a setup on this pair. I don't know if I've missed this. I don't think so. Okay. So this is a setup I was meant to drop in my signal group. So I've linked it here already. You can engage, you can do whatever you want to do with it. So let's go to daily time frame to look for where GBPUSD is coming from and where it is going to. Should we start to, okay, let's start from monthly time frame. As you can see, from long-term basis, you can see GBPUSD has been bearish. In fact, this makes sense. Let's go down to daily time frame, please. There's too much. So, yeah. So as you can see here, over here, we've been bullish actually, but currently, we have been bearish on this very angle because this is, to me, this is basically going to be either a retracement or an impulsive bearish movement. Either of them, I'm expecting price, no matter whatever price you want to do, I'm expecting price to find its way to the new year opening price. That's somewhere, where is that shit? Okay, the new year opening price should be somewhere here. This is January. So I'm expecting price to find its way all the way. Okay, let me just put it this way. Let me just put it here. Let me just put it here. So my draw on liquidity on GBPUSD is basically just this very level here. Let's calculate how many pips that is. Okay, that's 400 pips plus. That's decent enough. So obviously, I am not just gonna expect price to just drop all the way from the level if it is at the moment in price to my general liquidity. No, it can decide to retrace back into this range to mitigate maybe reference points for institutions to book their orders and all that. So anything can happen. But my long-term drawn liquidity on GBPUSD is very level in price. Okay, I think that's around 1.2700. Perfect. Now let's go to 1 hour time frame. So as you can see, like I said, I'm expecting price to just retrace back into this very little range here, and just this is a 1:3.6 3.6 RR trade, and this is just a 38 pips trade. You know, this pair is not as volatile as our favorite, which is BTC and XAUUSD. So we just got to manage whatever it gives us. Now, why am I selling? Why am I selling? As you can see, we have this liquidity that got run through here. You can see this high that got on through, and since then we've been having bearish move. Now, as we've been having our bearish move, these very candles here tried reaching out to mitigate this very other block here. It failed to do that. And as well, I think this is a level of I think there are opening prices that were situated here. Let me check. This is 1 hour time frame, right? Let's go to, okay, 1 hour time frame is cool. Let's look for Sunday opening price. That's the new week opening price. Okay. So this is liquidity that got swept was actually the opening price. The price ran through. Do you understand? So let's get that out. Sunday opening price is out of the picture. Although price can still decide to, now this is now looking risky. Price can still decide to do something like this because, man, still very much valid. Price can still decide to come all the way up and come back to, you know, mitigate the opening price again before it continues moving down. So I might decide to change my narrative. I might decide to put my stop loss here and maybe target much more peep, or I might still decide to just keep my trade the way it is. Whichever way, I'll have that to decide myself. So the next thing I want to show you here is the opening price for today. So this is the opening price for today. Let's go to 15 minutes time frame. The price is doing nothing serious at the moment over there. Well done. Let's look for the opening price of. Okay, so this is the opening price for Monday. And as you can see, there is this beautiful other block that is here as well. So this might even be the exact level in price. Price could as well decide to come to. But basically, either way, I'll have to find my way around price. But what I'm just showing you here is that whatever you're doing, it is fair. You look for a bearish narrative to back up your engagement. Do you understand? Don't just buy or sell without a proper logic. And as you can see, long-term basis, I was seeing lots of traders trying to buy this pair for some time. I don't know, but like as you can see, this is a clear bearish trade. This is a pair that has been, although it has not been moving impulsively, bearishly, but you know, little by little, it drops, it retraces, drops, it retraces. There's not much volatility, but it has actually been moving bearishly. So it'll be best advised to look out for bearish continuations. Do you understand? Now, that is it for GBPUSD. The next pair we're gonna look into is let's look at EURJPY. EURJPY, yeah. Oof. Let's start from the monthly time frame. Now, as you can see, this has actually been very, very bullish. We've actually been very, very bullish for a very long time on this pair. And this is just a little retracement, which this monthly candle, not for this is a monthly time frame. So you can see this tiny bearish retracements that the monthly candle has given us. Now let's go down to the lower time frame to see if we're gonna find something interesting. Okay. Let's go down again. Let's go down to 1 hour time frame. Okay. So let me look for the opening price for the week. Opening price for the week. So, sorry. Okay. Here you have it. So as you can see, price just bought all the way into this very FVG. Price bought all the way into that FVG, displaced to the downside. And after that, we had a retracement back into the range. And since then, we've been having bearish, you can see price has been dropping impulsively to the downside. Now, you can see that price actually, this opening price actually respected price, and it was actually what propelled price. You can see we just held it. This was just, what should I call this? This pin bar was also a valid added benefit to make us believe, okay, we are probably going to continue being bearish because this is a bearish confirmation to some lot of traders out there. Now, where are we going to engage up from if we are looking for an entry opportunity? So like as I told you, we are going to be bearish. Let's mark this out. And see this very, I think it's extended, got extended even down to this level. So you can see this trend line that price has been respecting for a while. You can see this trend line price has been respecting for a while. It just broke through it. It just broke through it. Now, there is no point beating around the bush. What I am basically just going to do is this. I will expect price to come back to this level. Expect price to come back to somewhere here, anyhow. And depending on the type of reaction I see on this level, but I'll be expecting price to do something like this. Just play around here a little bit and continue moving lower. Maybe I can decide to target. Okay, let's just have from here. Let's just target 100 pips. So something like this looks decent enough, right? Now, this is just a short-term expectation on this pair. As you can see, I marked out this to be a breakout from this trend line. But this actually looks a lot. This looks a lot. This actually, I won't be targeting for all these on a single move. I'll be expecting price to, be giving me multiple entry opportunities so I can be getting in and out to just be getting the pips brick by brick. So I'm basically just gonna work with this first. Now let's look at some USDJPY. Let's look at USDJPY. Now let's start from daily time frame. Now let's go back to 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I feel like we're having a rising channel here. Okay. Okay, let's shorten that. Let's look at this. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's just work with this. So as you can see, this is called a rising channel, right? The word of trading patterns is called a rising channel. As you can see, price has been respecting and bouncing off and on from this very price pattern. So what I'm basically expecting price to do, what I'm expecting price to do, might probably be just maybe sell. There are two things that can happen. Either price does this, sells down to this very level and continue its bullish move, or might probably see a breakout from this very pattern. And once we see that breakout, then the next thing that we're expecting is retests and boom. But first of all, you just gotta have in mind that this is a level of drawn liquidity, and I mean short-term basis. Let's look at if this is what's taken. Okay, it's what's taken. That's it descends 50 pips there. So let's go down to 15 minutes time frame to see if we can see a reference point to engage up from. Okay, as you can see, we had this very beautiful stop hunt here. So the entirety of this range, I will actually be paying attention to the entirety of this range. I need to see something like this. I don't know. But seeing something like this will give me much more confidence to engage up from, rather than just engaging in without proper logic and not having patience. So I'll just get to do that and expect price to, and doing that will give me a decent total of 100 pips. That is beautiful. So this is where we'll be ending the meeting for today. This is where we'll be ending the meeting for today. So all these very setups I just showed you, I'll be marking them out and I'll be dropping it in the Signal group. Some of them, maybe when they trigger, I will share it in the public group. Some of you that can engage in yourself, probably defining your risk, can do that for your own good. And that'll be just it for today. See you in the next class. You're welcome. I know you're all saying thank you. You're welcome. Bye.